Paid actors, decoys, and clear removal of evidence. It's like they're not even trying hard to hide the truth from us. In fact, when you start looking a little deeper into all of this, you'll notice someone who looks familiar. For instance, Candace brought up this photo of Tyler Robinson in a Dairy Queen in Orem from the day of the shooting. Notice his clothes. Now I want you guys to see this.
Look how tiny that is. Wow.
It's my own DIY streaming setup. So those professional ones
Can I get a
cost like
picture of that
$5,000.
microphone?
Yeah.
I just want to remember what that is.
I've seen small ones, but I haven't seen
This is the mic right here. This is the receiver for this.
Yeah.
how far will that transmit?
Really?
I know this footage is grainy, but you cannot deny this guy looks eerily similar to Tyler Robinson. And what's insane is that this isn't even the strangest part of this video, so keep watching.
So that way, if I have multiple cameras, you don't miss any angle, you know.
Who makes that camera?
It's Logitech.
Yeah. Oh, is it a
Mevo. Mevo Start. I have a bigger one at home I don't like to bring out here.
It's a pretty wide angle.
That has a micro four thirds lens.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Oh, it's that big, huh?
Yeah, it's like a cube like this big. And
So a guy who's wearing the exact same clothes as Tyler Robinson puts something down, and moments later, another dude who's moving like a robot picks up that object, puts it in his pocket, and then slams his hand down 3 times as if he's signaling someone or something. Now, we've seen a lot of people signaling with their hands before and after the shooting.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
However, this new clip seems to be taken straight out of a crime thriller because these guys are really acting like a couple of agents. And I don't like making assumptions, but we do need to assume there is a chance that Tyler Robinson isn't some innocent soul. He could have been part of a bigger operation and they just decided to pin the whole thing on him. This kind of explains how no cameras caught him getting into his supposed Dodge Challenger outside that Dairy Queen.
Okay, George Webb here at Dairy Queen. This is where Tyler was looking up at the board, right? He walked out here, there's the brown tile. That shows you that this is where the hit was. So this is great. This is Candace Owen reported this, 813 West 800, okay? So that's great if you think he's here at 638. But I challenge anybody to go to any of these local businesses, Harmon's for instance, and find a gray Challenger, Dodge Challenger, gray Dodge Challenger. Remember, he's supposedly driving a gray Dodge Challenger, right? Show me the hit at 638 of him coming out here with all of this, with all of these cameras, right? and also the highway camera.
He may have been driven back home in some other vehicle. Also, since we're talking about spotting someone suspicious on a different roof, what the hell was happening on top of the Woodbury building? As you just saw, the cops likely found something on that rooftop, which is why they were swarming it like that. Of course, if you've seen my previous videos, their actions make sense because we actually saw someone sneaking up on the roof of the Woodbury building just minutes before the shooting. But despite all of that, they still say it was all done by one guy who planned this so perfectly that no one even saw him there. As for how Tyler allegedly got to the Losee Center, we knew he used a secluded lot. Luckily, we have a guy who tried retracing the alleged shooter's footsteps. His name is Shaner Broderick, and he's a family member of Phil Lyman, who's a former Republican state representative from Utah. Now, Shaner made all of his social media accounts private and scrubbed the photos and videos soon after Candace took notice of him. But let me show you what he was posting before all that.
Because I got here like about 10 minutes before he walked by. And then I was talking to Mom and we were doing all this stuff. And then I look out the thing and there was somebody like right here. But they were just like kind of doing this kind of stuff, not really
pacing back and
So I
forth.
sent it to the FBI and said, if there's an accomplice, you know, because the camera from here to here took way too long. If you time how long it took him to get from that little part over to here was way longer than it should have been. So I wondered if the girl had given him stuff, like if there is an accomplice. Sorry, you're filming.
And it said right here, that picture from Sam's across the street, he was right here.
Yep.
And so you say the gun was dumped up here,
Oh, I'll show you where.
then on the basketball
So
hoop.
some of these footprints would be his for sure.
Ooh, that's right, I would play there as a kid in those forts. And to have been there at that rally. Ooh. I saw Irwin on TV as well. They interviewed Irwin out front. Oh, and there's the Losee Center right there. The roof of the building in which he was on.
I didn't know where this was. So that's right where he was?
Yes, the Losee Center. Look at that cat.
Way closer than I thought it was.
So he must have known how to scout out, and like I had this on my calendar for weeks, and so it said it was in the courtyard, and so he must have been, there's EVU. He must have known, because it said it would be in the courtyard, and all the events that take place, he enters through that little driveway.
He came and checked this all out.
Did you hear them talk about how the shooter must have scouted this entire dirt path before ever using it to escape? Also, did you notice her slipping saying that there was a female who may have been an accomplice? Of course, we know Tyler only started planning all this a week before the incident. Also, you got to remember that Tyler lived more than 3.5 hours away from this area. So either he was the greatest planner in the world, which we know he wasn't, or the more likely explanation is that the guy who ran away into these woods likely lived around there. But this isn't the only thing Shane revealed in his videos, so let's continue watching.
So that's the roof he shot from?
Yeah, the Losi Center. That's the career center of the university where I did my interviews for internships.
That's the Losi Center where he shot from.
Yep, and this is Brig Steele's old house. And so,
He
right,
would have dropped down somewhere.
and there's Grandma's old house. And so where do you say the gun was dropped?
Well, DeRay's house is right here. And there's one of the places up here that doesn't have the fence. So he probably just ran up in there and dropped it, but it's like, this isn't that far. I was thinking he went a long ways up in there, but
Yeah. No.
and it could be actually over here.
And that's the tunnel where they released the photos of him entering.
And here's the second problem. According to the FBI, the shooter had managed to bring that very long rifle into the university without anyone noticing it. He also was not seen by anyone on that roof or anyone in the parking lot even, which is insane because after the shooting, that parking lot should have been packed full of people. But let's get to the most important question. If no one saw him, then why in the world did he dump his rifle just a few yards from this dirt path? He could have easily taken it to his car and dropped it anywhere between Orem and St. George, and yet despite all this great planning, he made such a stupid decision. It almost seems like he wanted to get caught, just like George Zinn, who did a great job diverting our attention away from whatever the hell they were doing underneath the tent. Now, since we're talking about Shaner, I have to share what else Candace found out about him.
No one emailed us to say that they knew either of those two individuals, neither the blonde that's with Shaner or the person that is wearing the blue hat that is with Shaner. I said, that's weird. It was making me believe maybe those two individuals are like, I don't know, from overseas. Like maybe they're not even American. And we got just one hit. So this is the website. It's a Gothic Underground of all things. That is where that person's face comes up, except he's wearing makeup to make him, well, look a little more Gothic. Take a look at this. I'm going to show you the side by side. We need to find this person's name, but this is a match, okay? The ears, the chin, just everything about this individual is a match.
Look, I certainly don't think I'm the only one who thinks this mystery guy looks more like the supposed shooter than Tyler does, who actually looks nothing like him. So the guy who ran away through that parking lot and onto that vacant dirt path could very well be this mystery guy, since he surely knows the area much better than a guy like Tyler who lives far away. And on top of it all, this man could be a foreigner and is related to a political family, which could explain why people are keeping quiet about him. Now, Candace also revealed everyone connected to Charlie Kirk's case was new. A new FBI director and new FBI members in Utah after Kash Patel cleaned house. Then there's the new CEO and a new lead surgeon at the hospital, which was ranked extremely low in treating traumatic neck wounds, and also wasn't even the closest hospital to UVU. Then there's the new judge appointed in May of this year by Governor Spencer Cox. And the coroner? Brand spanking new, according to Candace.
We mentioned that apparently it was kind of everybody's first day on the job, right? 9/10 was everybody's first day on the job. Kash Patel, I told you, cleaned house at the state borough. He then installs a person that has a long tenure in DC, Robert Bowles, a new CEO, and therefore a new lead surgeon, Andrew Zenger, over at the hospital, the regional hospital that Charlie was taken to. Although that was not the nearest hospital from the university that is in the case, that is overseeing the case against Tyler Robinson, is Judge Tony F. Graff Jr. He was recently appointed to the 4th District Court in May. That the coroner in this case was also brand spanking new. That name has not yet been released. I am told that person is new.
It's almost like all these people were put in place to cover this up. And this brings me to another issue with this whole investigation. Ever since the shooting, Governor Spencer Cox has pretty much taken over the job of setting a narrative, and the FBI director has been there for the show. Now, there could be two reasons for this strange media strategy. First is pretty obvious. You just can't put Kash Patel in front of a camera in a shady situation like this one.
Sorry about that.
He either starts acting like a lost child or he starts saying weird things like this.
Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
And this brings me to the second reason why Governor Cox was chosen to sell this BS. He's a damn actor, and I think you'll agree that he did his very best to fool all of us.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am Governor Spencer Cox, and my preferred pronouns are he, him, and his.
If anyone in the sound of my voice celebrated even a little bit at the news of this shooting, I would beg you to look in the mirror and to see if you can find a better angel in there somewhere. I pray that those who hated what Charlie Cook stood for,
Charlie Cook.
I can't answer that right now. I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for. Yes. So when he's first spotted on campus, he has different clothing on, and then he changes clothing on the roof, and then changed back into that clothing at some point, so that when he was apprehended, when he was arrested, the clothing matched the clothing he had on before the shooting here at UVU.
His tears and sadness look especially out of place when you realize that Charlie Kirk has been criticizing him openly for a long time now. So it almost feels like they're mocking us by allowing this rogue governor to practice his real acting skills on national television. And they also mocked us with all of that 33-hour BS. According to the Utah County records, Tyler was arrested at 4 a.m. in the morning of September 12th. That means he was arrested close to 39 hours after the shooting, not 33, because the shooting took place at 12:23 p.m. on September 10th. So the question is, why did they keep saying this number in all of their interviews and press conferences?
In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, in 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie.
I think the process went pretty well, considering we got him in 33 hours.
Yeah. We apprehended our suspect in 33 hours because we were transparent and open with the American public, and we're going to continue to do that.
For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I hoped for.
Now, some people have pointed out that an earlier booking sheet may have stated that Tyler was arrested at about 10 p.m. on September 11th. So according to this document, he wasn't even arrested on the same day. And that's a huge problem. How are their own records so wrong about the arrest of such a high-profile suspect? To me, it seems like something happened in those 5 or 6 hours and they just changed the records to keep it all under wraps. Also, even if he was arrested arrested at 10 p.m. on September 11th, it would still mean that they caught him close to the 34 hours after the shooting, but for some reason they kept talking about 33 hours for days. And let's not forget, they didn't catch him. He supposedly was turned in. And you got to remember, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are very involved in online discussions. They know about every shady organization, so they definitely understand what number 33 represents, but they still didn't stop, and that should tell you all you need to know about the FBI. All right, let me know what you guys think about all of this. If the guy in the maroon shirt really was Tyler, who was he talking to? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As per usual, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to catch you in the next one.